Yo, what's happening? This your boy AG, Amazin Grace. Listen, I had this whole album roll out, like ready. I was gonna do like a docu-series and all that stuff to kind of lead up to my next album, but since old Corona hit, everything kind of shut down, you know. But we gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it rolling. So today I want to talk to y'all real quick about bitterness, about unforgiveness, building walls around your heart. Real quick, I'm gonna share a quick story. Every year, our church, they send our youth off to Camp Decision, and the one year that they was just starting it, I was in youth. I mean, I was maybe 12, 13. It was something around that age. And so, Mr. Brian was like, "Hey, you going to Camp Decision?" I was like, Nah, I don't know if I'm going, because in my mind, I'm thinking this is another summer camp. I grew up going to summer camps. I didn't want to go. That's what it was. It was a summer. I had no school. I wanted to be home, you know. So, of course, you know, when your parents, you know, in control, you ain't got no choice. So my mom was like, "Oh no, you going? You know, you getting out of the house." So I'm like, man. So I was like, okay, whatever. So, mind you, I had in my mind, you know, I was a little stubborn. I was a little hard-headed. I had in my mind, I'm going, but I ain't going, you know, for no church reasons. I was going see how many girls I could talk to. A couple of my friends was going, you know. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, so we get to Camp Decision. Mind you, before I get to Camp Decision, a lot of times with us as boys or men, you know, we tend to hold things in because it makes you look weak when you finally let things go and all that stuff like that. And so I was struggling with a couple of things. You know, my dad wasn't present at the time. My cousin, who is like, I mean, basically that's my brother. He had just went away to prison, and it was just like, you know, I was struggling with certain things. I wasn't confident in myself. You know, I was hurt at some point, you know. And so we get to Camp Decision, you know, mind you, again, I didn't go with the best intentions. And so what happens is that night, Pastor Billy Joe Watt was speaking, and he did a conference call. I don't remember what the exact call was for, but I knew I did go up. Go to the conference call. I mean, why I keep saying conference call like I'm at work, but the altar call. They did an altar call, and I never forget it. Like at Camp Decision, those who have went and who may be viewing this video, you know, when you at Camp Decision, it's like you cannot deny the move of the Holy Spirit. Like you can't deny it. It was there. It was so thick, man. It was just like you can't deny it. Camp Decision, those worship nights can go on all night, and you wouldn't care, you know. So I went. So they do the altar call. I go up. Pastor Greg was praying for me at first, and he's just some things he knew and some things he didn't. He was just speaking life into me. He was praying for me, you know. And mind you, I'm starting to tear up, you know, because I'm letting some of these things go. I'm letting go of the hurt. You know, I'm letting all these things go that I had built up in me. And I hear in my ear, Mr. Brian goes, "Save some of that for me." And then I get in, I'm getting prayed for by Mr. Brian, man. Mr. Brian has been, you know, like another father to me, you know. And, you know, he's always been there for me. Every time I needed him, he's been there for me. But so he hit me, you know, he see me getting prayed for, and he stopped praying for me. And man, he just praying, and I mean, he breaking me down, man. He breaking me down, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the best way, man, because I was holding so much of those things in, so much stuff in, and by the time he got done, man, I'm washed down, crying. I go back to my seat. Some of my friends, they looking at me like, "What you crying for?" This, that, other, and I was just like, man, I was free. That was one night where I could truly say that, you know, walls that I had built up had came down, and, you know, I let things go. I let go of unforgiveness. I let go of past hurt, you know. And so I encourage you, if you're watching this video, to truly evaluate yourself. Look at things that you may have built up that you don't even know. And I just pray that God just break chains and tear down those walls in your life. Again, you know, and not only that, learn how to forgive people. That night I learned how to forgive. So just, if you got any unforgiveness in you, any bitterness in you, I challenge you to let it go. Forgive some people, because they're going on about their life and you still holding on to those things. And I just pray that God just pierce your heart and, you know, just tear down some of those things that you have built up in you. Again, this your boy AG. Salute.